Wow, that was hard.
Go ahead and fill out our permit.
I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can finish. Welcome to Toronto, Ontario in Canada. We have flown into Toronto this morning and we're staying one night here in Toronto, and then we're going to drive over to Niagara Falls. And you know, Niagara Falls is probably one of the most infamous waterfalls in the States and probably Canada as well. The line kind of sits right there on the whole spot. We're going to stay on the Canadian side and you know, try to get some good pictures of the falls, and as well as just explore it and, you know, just enjoy Niagara. It's just me and my son. It's a boys trip, and I'm pretty excited about it. So we're gonna go from there into from Niagara Falls into the Adirondack Mountains, and we're gonna do some hiking. If the weather cooperates, we're gonna get some amazing photography, and we'll vlog the hikes, and hopefully we'll be able to hike some of the peaks. Now, let's check out Toronto, and then we'll take you over to Niagara Falls.
Polson Pier, and what you can do from here is get a shot with the sunset and the city kind of in the background. So it's a pretty unique shot, but I don't think it's like, you know, a real over the top touristy type of spot. There's not a whole lot of people here, although there definitely was there was a wedding photographer here doing some photos, and there's some other people taking some shots, but not many. So really cool shot here of downtown Toronto in the sunset. I told him to bring his jacket, but he didn't want to listen. It's about 40 degrees and this wind's coming right off the water.
We have some dinner reservations to go up there. If you're ever in Toronto, make sure you go check out the CN Tower. It's over 1,800 feet tall, and the views, especially at nighttime, are just absolutely breathtaking. You can see how much the tower moves. This is at the very top. When it's just a little bit windy, I can only imagine what it feels like when it's really windy. Toronto's been an awesome, awesome city, but now it's time to get on the road and head over to Niagara Falls. We just checked into the Hilton at Niagara Falls. It was about an hour and a half drive from Toronto, so not a bad drive at all. It's Wednesday morning and traffic wasn't bad at all. The traffic in Toronto is pretty horrible most of the day, but once we got on the highway and got outside of Toronto, everything really kind of opened up and it was great. But we got the 39th floor at the Hilton with the falls view. I figure if you're gonna come, and do this, then you might as well do it right. And just for a little extra money, this is what you get. Niagara Falls is one of those iconic locations that we've all seen photographs or video of, but when it comes to locations like that, I'm always taken back by what all the behind the scenes stuff looks like, the stuff you don't see in the videos and the photos, and it's just amazing to take all of that in. Walking right out of our hotel, we could hear the falls a couple blocks away. I mean, it's a very powerful sound. And as we made our way down to the falls and we're getting glimpses of it, it's just amazing the power and the energy you can start to feel and hear. And when you get up close, it just, you don't even know what to say and you don't know where to look because there's so much of it. And you get to see it raw in its natural state, not edited, not put together to be really pleasing to the eye, but just the falls, just the natural falls and the atmosphere around it, the people taking it in. It's just a really, really wonderful location. And I couldn't wait to get my camera out and see what I could do as far as photography goes. What is that? Oh, it's a building of some kind. So just for reference, we're here beginning of November. It's about 12 lunchtime. And it's beautiful, clear day. The sun is just, very, very bright. It's really hard to look at the main falls because the sun is reflecting on the water so much. So this evening at sunset, although I won't have a sun in the photo, hopefully I'll get some good colors. And then I'll be back here in the morning. In the morning, I should have the sun somewhat over the river there. And I'm not sure how this is going to work out. There's a lot going on in a photo like this, including dealing with the mist. But man, the magnitude of this place it's stunning. It's inspiring. The probably a surprise I have about the area, I don't know why I'm surprised by it, but I am. It's so commercialized. The whole area is, hotels, tourist stuff. I wasn't expecting the casinos. I don't think I was expecting all of that. I probably should have been, though. It just makes sense.
So we just pulled up to our Airbnb, and it's just a little ways outside of town, and it seems to be pretty rustic and pretty cool. We're just outside Lake Placid. I was wondering about firewood, but they have plenty of it. Hello? Oh, wow. Really rustic. Beautiful. This is nice. I think it's nice. It's rustic. It has some charm.
I think it's harder to walk up this one.
So it was about a 6-hour drive from Niagara Falls to where we are here in Lake Placid in the High Peaks region. We rode around, we got some dinner at a barbecue place tonight on the main street through town. It's a very rustic, style home. The owners did say that they lived here, I don't know, for about 10 years or so as their primary residence. But they've since moved over to a separate town, Saranac Lake. The whole area it just has a lot of charm. It's one of those mountain towns. There's no Walmarts or big commercialized businesses. It's all pretty much mom and pop type of places, and it's nice. Our heat, we have a 2-story, and the heat all comes from either the fireplace or the wood stove, or they have heating in the concrete floor on the 1st story. It snowed all day today. All in all, we got about 1 to 2 inches. It was just one of those snows that, it snows and pretty heavy at times, but it just doesn't accumulate for whatever reason. It's probably a little early in the season. However, I am hearing that there is snow on top of the peaks, so they have a lot of gear places in town. So if you need gear and you're in the area, rest assured you're going to be able to find whatever you need. There's a lot of gear places. It's going to be expensive, but you can get the gear that you need. With an anticipated 4 to 8 inches of snow from talking with the locals, we're going to wear gaiters. We're going to be, tomorrow's going to be cold, man. It's going to be 25 degrees here in town. But when you go up 4,000 feet, you could lose another 20 degrees or so. So we're going to be right at around 0 or in those single-digit temperatures. And then the real kicker is the wind chill. We're hunkered in. We're going to go to bed early tonight and get up bright and early. And we're going to try to tackle the Porter and Cascade Trail. It's a combination of 2 peaks. And there's 46 peaks in the Adirondacks that are surveyed in at above 4,000 feet. Apparently, after they were surveyed in, there were some discrepancies with, am I still in focus? Some discrepancies with the height. I think some of them are actually under 4,000 feet when it comes to elevation above sea level. But since they were surveyed in that way, that's what they still use. And I think one of the most important parts about doing a hike like this is just research. The more you know, the more power you have, the more information you have to make good choices, and to make sure that you stay safe. When you're in a transitional weather period like we are from fall, kind of getting into winter as far as here in the Adirondacks, it's important that you know what you're doing and that you're prepared for whatever comes your way. A little more than 2.5 miles out and back, so pretty significant elevation gain, but the distance shouldn't be too bad. So I'm hoping to be able to tackle it in 6 to 8 hours max, and hopefully sooner than that. Hopefully we make some progress and we move right on through it, and we can get to the top without too many problems. So good night for now, and I'll see you in the morning.
Trailhead's right on Route 73, and they have a lot of problems with people. Well, they have no parking lot, so they have a lot of problems with people parking illegally. There's no one here today except us, so we're either here in time or we're crazy for doing this, but we'll find out. Go ahead and fill out our permit. Wow. (11/7). What's today's date?
I don't know.
11/8. So there was one person that did it yesterday. Right there.
Let's see if I can hit it with a snowball.
No. So we're only probably 1/4 mile in, and we've gained a lot of elevation already.
It's so long.
So if the sound's not as good, it's because the other half of my Rode Video Mic Go has fallen off and is back on the trail somewhere. Maybe I'll find it on the way back, maybe I won't. That's always been my big problem with this microphone setup, is the part that you strap onto yourself or mount somewhere. It's just, the clip's just not good. It's not a practical setup, although I love the general concept, but lost it, so we'll see. It's not the distance, it's the elevation that is just hard. There we go.
It's not bowling yet.
Yeah, it's getting close.
That snow would be gone. There's snowfall. Do it.
Oh, we just finished up our coffee. And right on time, we got some blue skies coming out. That is wonderful. Let's see if we can get to the top to see the view. We are about out of energy. We're almost there though.
Little baby ski things at Blue Mountain, and then it leads up to that.
Yeah.
That's what this feels
Yeah,
like.
you're right.
Oh, I found it! I found it! Oh.
There it is. Wow. Oh yeah.
The other one is the other mountain.
The light sucks in here. The sound probably isn't the best because Rode, I love the mic, but it's the part that you clip onto yourself or try to clip onto the camera somehow. It sucks, and today it sucked even more than it's ever sucked before because it fell off while I was hiking, and it is somewhere in the Adirondack Mountains. So I did buy another one, but I'm going to have to figure out some way to like fasten it or Velcro it to the camera because the clip here is just so thanks, Rode. Let's talk about that hike. Wow, that was hard. Halfway up, I was like, wow, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can finish. And my son was starting to get tired of it too. But then the closer we got, the more we were like, we've come this far, we can't stop. We have to summit the mountain. And so we kept pushing. And you know, we'd take breaks and we kept pushing. And we finally did it. We summited Cascade Mountain. We backed off of going over to Porter Mountain. That was another 1.5 miles. We aren't going to run out tomorrow and summit another mountain because it was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done physically. And it was very challenging mentally. But man, it was an awesome experience.
So I'm out early chasing the shot. The sun is out. The clouds have kind of pulled back, although they're kind of moving in. But right now I have some really optimal conditions for shooting. And man, the Adirondacks have no lack of beautiful stuff to shoot. If you don't know, the little town of Lake Placid has hosted 2 Olympics. I think the most recent one was in 1980. It's a ski jump as a kind of a mid-ground. The mountains is the background, and we got some snow in the foreground. So I've been using Carl Hyman's book about locations, in the Adirondack Mountains. And this spot was mentioned between these 2 towns where you get this meadow view of Whiteface Mountain. And I think you nailed it. The light's not perfect, but with the contrast with the snow on the mountain and the green of the meadow, it's a pretty cool picture. This is just one really unique scene. And I got this from Carl's book as well. It wasn't too hard to find. It's in the little town of Jay. And just the cascading water over the rocks, the really nice, long, wood-covered bridge. This just makes for great photography. So my son and I are just literally riding around and just looking for great scenes, and there's so many of them. I don't know if it's coming across, but right in here, the light is just, oh my gosh, it's beautiful. It's hitting the mountain with just the green that's left over on the pines and the snow that's freshly fallen yesterday. It's just, I'm definitely going to get a shot of it. I don't know if it's going to come through, but hopefully. Can you see that way up there? Massive waterfall. So I'm at a campground on the Adirondack Lodge Road, and it's been a wonderful day because I've just been riding around with my son. The sun's been out, so we've been chasing the light all over the landscape in the Adirondacks and just spending time together. And for me, that's been the best part of this trip. Our last day in the Adirondacks, and we are geared up and ready to do our last hike. This is called Avalanche Pass to Avalanche Lake. It's a 10 mile out and back
hike, and it supposedly has some really cool stuff along the way, along with Avalanche Lake being really, really pretty. So I'm excited, and my body's still struggling from the other day, but we're gonna make it happen. All right, so we're at Heart Lake, and we're on the trailhead. It's the Avalanche Pass trailhead, and I think they actually call there's two different sections of the actual trail, but I'll show you on the map. So we're here at the campground, and we're gonna take Trail 61 over to Trail 60. Trail 61 over to Trail 68. And down there is Avalanche Pass and Avalanche Lake. Hopefully we won't see any of those guys. Trail looks to be, start of the trail, pretty good condition. It's been cold enough that it's pretty frozen, but it's not covered in snow yet. It will be covered in snow after tomorrow. They're supposed to get over a foot of snow in the next 48 hours. First half mile is mostly flat, or it even has some decline to it. This is kind of cool. It's just kind of been a gradual slope, nothing too serious yet. Oh, Marcy's Dam, or what used to be Marcy's Dam. So it's been basically just like a steady incline for the last mile or so. We have 1 mile until we get to Avalanche Lake. Avalanche Mountain is going to be off to our right side here soon, which I think is that mountain we saw back at Marcy Dam with all the avalanche places on it. Boy loves his ice. So here's the first avalanche. You can see all the lumber, all the trees.
Yeah, and they're all missing.
It came from way up there.
Because they're down here.
Yep. Wow. lake. There it is. We made it. Oh my gosh. It's incredible. I can't tell you how big this is. The scale. There's no way you're going to get it through the video.
This is kind of cool. Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think it's probably around 12. Oh my god. What's that? Hot.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
What, 2 cameras in yours?
No, just one. Did you taste yours?